Hello, I'm Gavin Houchell from the Acquire Group. I'm delighted today to be joined by Terence Koo. Welcome, Terence, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, no, thank you. Obviously, we're here to have a conversation today in respect to your involvement with our Acquire Knowledge Mentoring Program.
That's right.
And from memory, I think you were one of the early adopters back in 2014.
Yeah, I believe I was part of the initial, just to see how the program went. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think at that stage you were in a senior commercial role within the Optus prepaid services business.
Yeah, I'd actually just joined Optus at the time,
yeah.
And it was a sort of a step up role for myself, and it was seen as part of an opportunity to round me out, and going along with a mentor program was something that the business was happy to support and explore at that time.
Yeah, fantastic. And now the hat you wear is what, Commercial Director for supporting the VP of Retail?
Yeah, so time when it rains it pours, I guess. So just 2 years after that role, got asked to step into an opportunity which was to look after the commercial support for the retail division of Optus. So pretty much the 350 odd stores that Optus provide our services through, and it's just a fantastic opportunity and bigger team, more complex environment, and I'm quite enjoying it at the moment.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So just reflecting back when you entered the program, what made you sort of get involved? Do you feel why our mentoring program?
Yeah, look, I think I've always been a person that's been interested in personal growth and making sure I can be the best, person I can be, and I've been fortunate to have a number of mentors, sort of informal mentors, throughout my career to date. The topic came up. I worked with Acquire previously, but they were the one that placed me. But also, I'd done some work in recruitment, and the topic came up that this service was there around mentoring, and I thought it was a novel idea. It wasn't something that was typical of a recruitment company. I had a chat to my leader at the time, and he was very supportive and said, "Well, why don't you believe in mentorship as a concept? Why don't you, assuming we can find the right fit, why don't you explore it?" And it started from there. Yeah.
So and what were your experiences? So when you first entered, what were the experiences you gained? Do you feel?
Yeah, sure. Look, I was quite clear in my head what I was hoping to get out of the mentor program. The two things for me was some support on real job challenges as I was moving into this new role and sort of finding my feet. I was new to telecommunications, etc. So learning about that. And second was career advancement. So somebody who's career path I could see myself mirroring, and I could take various learnings from that. And I was fortunate. I put those on the table. You had your wish list.
Yep.
And I was fortunate enough that Acquire found me someone which ticked nearly every box. Yeah. A guy named Guy Brent. I believe he's been on here before. And it went really well from there. We sort of kicked off that relationship at that point.
Yeah. And the program itself, how did you find that worked for you? You obviously a busy day job, and how did you manage the time? And
yeah, look, I hadn't been part of any formal mentor programs before, but what I liked about this one was that I felt there was sufficient structure to say, right, cool. It was like you needed to. There was 9 months. It was going to be at least one interaction every 9 months, but so that was some structure that both sides knew that there was a level of commitment required, but it was also sort of loose enough that it was up to you to agree with your mentor how best to structure that. And so the good thing about when we had our first meeting, my objectives aspirational objectives had already been communicated. He'd been given a little bit of a background about myself, and so within a very quick 15-minute sort of check, we were able to say, okay, we agree with this. How are we going to work? Good, let's go. And then we're off that. And the person that put us in touch was fairly confident chemistry-wise we would interact. Which is important, I think, in those types of relationships. And he was right, so we sort of kicked off pretty quickly and got into it.
Good stuff. And what would you say, if you're on reflection, the biggest learnings of being a mentee have been?
Yeah, I think the biggest learning which came across to me was, both my mentor and myself are accountants by trade. We're trained when we're trained in numbers. That's how we cut our teeth in our original careers. And the thing that came out, I always had a bent towards feeling that working on people was just as important as getting the numbers right. Yeah. And Guy my mentor really reaffirmed and confirmed that. So it sort of moved away from gut feel, this is sort of a style thing, to no, this is real, and this is, you have to give some serious consideration in today's business world, and how much change there is, and how things alter all the time, and when concepts such as authenticity and resilience need to come to the fore. Really taking a focus on people, regardless of what divisional bent or functional bent you have, is and getting those results through people is the most important. So Guy sort of formalized that, but he also helped me a lot through different tips, such as, how do you prioritize? So how do you help your people prioritize what's important? How do you have those discussions to enable that? How do you then ensure that there's role clarity in what they have to achieve around those priorities? So what are they? He used to call it, what are your rocks? And that was something I took from him, and I used that, and how that then flowed to how you set very clear KPIs, in a true communication, not just not a sort of dictate thing, but a two-way conversation on what's important, what we achieve, and then how you continually follow that up to sort of create a culture of accountability around that and performance. And if you focused on that, ironically, the things that you're naturally taught to do not become less important, but they sort of take care of themselves, because then as you're moving through the ranks, you're working through people more so than being the functional expert and everyone coming to you to ask how to answer questions, etc. And that was a natural style of mine, but it's probably something that wasn't affirmed. And having someone whose career path I'd admired and was giving me that guidance, it just gave you that confidence that you're on the right path. And when you had a challenge or a problem or a roadblock, you could throw some ideas around how to do that. And he was also instrumental, not just in the other learnings. That was the first learning around working with my people, but the other learning would be, how do you also use those techniques and skills to influence your stakeholders? As finance people, we aspire to be business partners and have a seat at the table of our, in my case, sales and marketing people. How do you better do that? How do you better bring them along for the ride, so that you're more than a scorekeeper, you're a business partner? So those sort of pieces of advice and golden nuggets that came through, and having the opportunity to apply them, sort of led to this learning loop, which was really useful, and it made a big difference, I felt.
Wow. And what advice would you, I guess, convey to a potential mentee that's considering our program, and around selecting the right mentor? How do you go about?
I think the selection of the mentor, rightly or wrongly, is probably a little bit of the right time, right place as well. But my advice would be, first and foremost, you be very clear about what you want, because, like I said, I wanted help, support with work challenges and career advice, and that may not be everybody's intention. There might be different things that they want. And for my advice would be, one, be very clear about that. I call them aspirational, because you may not always get every box ticked, but if you're going to go on the program, communicate that to the person trying to do your match, and look, ask to be matched with somebody who helps you achieve those objectives, not necessarily has the best CV or the best thing. So it depends on, but I think you having clarity about what you want first makes it easier to find that close matches, close
alignment. Well, I'm glad that your experience has been positive, and it's obviously standing you in good stead. So it was a great journey, and I'd recommend it. It was a big support for me as I was moving through a new job, new industry. Things have turned out quite well. So, and that was definitely a factor in it. Fabulous, good. Well, thank you so much, and all the best as you continue on the journey as well. Thanks, Terence.
No problem.
Cheers.